Hello everyone, Blester here again, bringing you another video that I hope that you find rather interesting and rather useful. The topic of today's video is something that I promised to do a little bit ago, but I've been delaying this video because I just wanted to be sure that whatever I'm going to share with you, it's actually useful. And for that, I'm not only presenting you like the idea, but also going to show you some receipts so you know that there's something sound behind it, right? And obviously the topic of today's video is going to be the imminent release of the Mole Charmy Fueros, which is essentially, for all intents and purposes, for this deck at least, the replacement of Maxi. And because Maxi has been banned in TCG for a long time, now getting the Fueros means just getting back into those dark times where we have to deal with just what I like to call the draw engine hand traps, and how we are going to play around them, or how are we going to deal with them, because those hit this deck really hard. And before we get into that, I will just want to remind you guys that if you like the content that you see, please like, share, and subscribe. But if you're not doing any of that, at the absolute least, please leave me a comment, because I always love reading your feedback. So, first and foremost, I don't know how long this video is gonna be. If it's end up being long, I'll just leave some timestamps so you can skip right into the content that you want to see. But I would greatly encourage you to like watch everything from start to end, because I feel like there's a lot of things that we have to discuss before getting into the, let's say, into the topic at hand, because otherwise in context nothing is gonna make sense. It's not gonna make sense, sorry. So the first thing that I want to address, which is going to be very important to discuss the topic at hand, is that we have to break like the stigma that, or at least for this deck, that the only competitive way, or like the only way you're going to see results with this deck, if you are playing 40 cards or close to 40 cards, because honestly, as time goes on, it's just impossible to fit everything that you need to play to compete in the format with only 40 cards, at least for the case of heroes, because heroes play a lot of engine requirements. They play a lot of engine requirements, and those take valuable space in your deck. That it's just not enough for you to see the important cards that you need, right? That's the first thing that I would say. Please do not be afraid of playing more than 40 cards, because whenever people are trying to do that, they're starting to make, let's say, concessions, and I feel like really bad concessions, because they are just so obsessed that because they're playing more cards, obviously that means that they have less chances of, let's say, opening the Hero Lives or like the Fusion Destiny, right? Because these are like the best cards of the deck, and usually you want to see them on your opening hand. But I would say, like, even if you were like playing the lowest card count, you don't have any guarantee that you will open this. And in fact, this is something that I was talking about on the last video, is that you have more chances of seeing your bricks in general, because the amount of them is so high that you just realistically have more chances of opening this than opening the, let's say, the cards, the max amount of copies of like Fusion Destiny or Hero Lives that you can play, right? Because I mean, at least on the current iteration of the deck, you will be playing like this. But right now, if you look at this, we have 6, but like a lot of people only play one Shadow Mist, which essentially turns it into an engine requirement. Same with like polymerization, which turns it into an engine requirement, and also, let's say, like the mass change, which also turns it into an engine requirement. And by the, let's say, by the standards, or the way people see um, the searchable parts of the deck, at least, these are cards that you never want to see on your opening hand. So the amount of engine requirements is just higher than the amount of legal copies of Fusion Destiny and Hero Leaves that you can play. So even if you were to play like the low card count, uh, you essentially have more chance of breaking rather than doing your crazy plays. So that was like the main thesis of my previous videos and my previous builds, because what I wanted to do is just like play more cards, so I break less, so I don't have like so I have less chance of seeing these cards and playing like more like consistency, so I end up opening the cards that I want to see, like even like if I'm not opening this, I don't know, opening like Stratos or like Ferris, right? Or so for that I was playing like more copies like Emergency Call and Foolish Burial, right? And I know like a lot of people just saw that and felt like this was so unnecessary, and I don't know, like just like why would you want to do that, right? And oh surprise, right? It's starting to become more like relevant because, like I said, you won't be able to fit everything, like every single non-engine that you're required to stop, let's say the draw engine hand traps, that you will be forced to play more than 40 cards. And now the question of the day for a lot of players is that if I'm forced to play more than 40 cards, like how am I going to play through like the hand traps, or how am I going to play like if I'm not seeing like my best cards and such. And that is like one of the topics that we have to discuss, because uh, the version that I'm going to show you is like a 51 card count, and I know that for a lot of people that's gonna feel like it's too much. It's like too big of a list. You're gonna break every time that you play with it. But I believe me when I say that wouldn't be further from the truth. And to demonstrate that, I have actually built like a similar build in Master Duel, and I have reached the master rank in the game, and I'm going to show you um, eventually that part into the video. I'm just going to edit it so you see that. But for the time being, I'm just going to like show you the idea behind the deck, right? Hey everyone, this is the part where we get Master 5 in Master Duel using the 50 card count deck, and I'm going to show you. I'm showing you this way so you know that I didn't cheat or anything. This is the deck list, right? And if you were to see the match history, you would be seeing that out of the 20 last duels, we only lost 5. So that means that we had like a 75% win rate. So you know that this deck is legit. Okay, so after the edit of the Master Duel part, we'll be discussing the cards that will help you deal with the opponent's, let's say, draw engine hand traps, right? And for that, you will be forced to play triple Ash Blossom. You will also be forced to play triple Crossout Designator, and you also will be forced to play the hand trap yourself. Um, which is going to be the Molchami Force whenever it releases. Um, I know that people may see just like one and be wondering why. If it's like Maxi, maybe you want to run full copies, but then again, Molchami Force is not Maxi. It only works whenever you go second, and for that you have to control no cards. So the applications of this card is going to be rather limited, and I don't think that you will be getting the max value of the card if you play it in this deck, because you don't play that many hand traps to begin with. The only reason why you will be playing this is just to stop it whenever your opponent uses it against you. And obviously, lastly but not least, you also be forced to play Called by the Grave. Sadly, there's only one legal copy of this card. If there were more copies to be played, you should be playing it, right? And if you see, you have to essentially devote 8 spaces in your deck just to be able to fight back against that hand trap. But that is not all, because you will also be forced to be playing cards like Forbidden Droplet in your deck, because you know that you are not going to be able to go first every single time. There will be also times where you have to break your opponent boards on top of playing the, let's say, the draw engine hand trap minigame. So it certainly gets really hard for you to get around all those hoops and loops. But if you want to perform decently well in a competitive environment, you will be forced to play these cards. And if you make the math, that's going to be like 11 non-engine spots in your deck. And if you were to play 40 cards, that's like the fourth part of your deck. So you only have like 30, not like 29 spaces for your engine to function. And for heroes, that's a big ask because you will be forced to make really bad concessions, and it's going to bite you in the ends at some point in a match, especially if the game goes into a grind game, right? So since you're forced to play this many non-engine cards, like how do you deal, right, with the, let's say, with the fact that you are not gonna be seeing cards like Hero Lives and Fusion Destiny as much as you like. And the thing is that for you to be able to play around this is that you will be forced to play the max copies, obviously, of Vision Hero Fairies and the max copies of Elemental Hero Stratos. But not only that, you will be forced to play triple copies of E-Emergency Call because this card searches Stratos, and you know that, let's say, opening the E-Emergency Call plus any hero is essentially the Stratos searches for fairies, and fairies plus a hero monster is essentially combo. But not only that, you will also be forced to play cards like Foolish Burial, because this is a way to play around hand traps, although this means that if you have to use, let's say, Shadow Mist effect, you won't get the mass change. So in that regard, I would recommend playing multiple copies of Mass Change, although for this version I'm only playing 2. Also, one of the things that I would recommend if you're playing this high card count is that you want to play 2 Shadow Mist, because I know a lot of people only play 1, but believe me that you don't want to cut this card. Even if you were playing the low card count, I feel like Shadow Mist is a must to be played at 2, especially because you also may have times where you will be forced to play from the normal summon of Vision Hero Bion, and you know that this doesn't work if you don't have Shadow Mist in your deck, and it's very possible that you may open like Shadow Mist and Bion in your opening hand, and you're gonna feel like raging whenever this happens because then you don't have combo, right? Also, one of the things that I would say that you will be forced to play is that you have to play double polymerization, and this is something that I know that is going to sound really weird because a lot of people consider this an engine requirement, because I don't know, you usually do not want to open this for a lot of people. I don't know why. I feel like it's the contrary, because this is your main combo starter. If you're not fusing, you're not playing. But also, one of the things that I would be saying to you is that I know a lot of people do not know this, but opening Stratos plus polymerization is full combo. But for this to be full combo, you need to play 2 polymerizations, because this combo line requires you will be using these 2 polymerizations on that turn. And obviously, because Stratos plus polymerization is full combo, that also means that if you have E-Emergency Call plus polymerization, is also full combo. But the thing is that this card gives you so much value whenever you have this card, because let's say you open like this, and you were to normal summon Stratos, and let's say you get Ash or like gets Imper Unveiler, you can fix the hand by getting the E-Emergency Call, and let's say you open like you can search like Shadow Mist to fuse into Sunrise and still go into full combo, but instead of being like a dark low line, you're gonna end on like Plasma. And I know that this is going to sound very weird for some of you, but I'm going to link you into my combo tutorials so you know what I'm talking about, because this is what I like to call the polymerization combo lines, and this is going to be something new for you if you haven't seen them in action. Even like I'm pretty sure that if you watch some replays that I'm probably going to show for the Master Duel part of the video, you will see them in action and see that you actually end up using double polymerization. And also one of the things that I recommend you playing for this particular build is that I would recommend you playing Elemental Hero Blazeman. And I know this is going to sound even weirder for a lot of people because this is essentially another normal summon, and a lot of people consider this a worse version of Bion. But like Blazeman is a really good card, or at least in my opinion, because this card can also let you achieve full combo. Like, let's say if you were to open, let's say Malicious plus Blazeman, this is the same result as opening Stratos plus Polymerization, because the Polymerization combo line consists in fusing Destiny Hero Malicious with an elemental hero that is neither dark nor light. So the reason it's combo is because Stratos searches for Malicious, and you already have Polymerization in hand, and this is full combo. And this is full combo because on normal summon Blazeman searches for Polymerization, and if you open Malicious, you already have all the cards that you need to go the full board. And also because, like I said, this makes the deck very normal summon reliant. I would also recommend you play cards like Ian Shuffle, which I think it's really, really good, because let's say I don't know, like, let's put it that way. You open like this, right? If you open like this, you normal summon Blazeman, you get the poly, and like I said, if you see the combo tutorials, you know that Blazeman and plus Malicious and Polymerization is full combo. But let's say you get Ash or you get Imper and such, then you can use Ian Shuffle, you shuffle back Stratos away, you shuffle back Blazeman away, and then you can special summon Stratos, and then Stratos, I don't know, gets you the Vision Hero Ferris, and you can try again at doing the combo. And it's just essentially a punishment for your opponent trying to stop you on your normal summon. So that's why I would recommend you play this card. I only play 2 copies in this version because there's not enough space to fit everything in, but this is a really good recommendation. Not only that, it also can help you if you are forced to like discard news really early into the combo. I don't know, maybe you were forced to use, I don't know, Forbidden Droplet, and then mid combo you use the Ian Shuffle. One of the additional effects that this card has is that you can banish it from your graveyard, return news into your deck, and draw 1 card. So that's really good. And I would say that's essentially it, right? Yeah, that's essentially it. That is the engine part of the deck. And if you look at it, you are playing more starters and more like engine cards. So you don't risk breaking even if you're playing all these non-engine, right? And not to mention all these engine requirements. Okay, so let's see. Let's get started with the replays. I don't want to show too many because maybe the video is going to get too long. But let's see what we have here. I guess this is a good way to start. Let's show you what we're playing against, which is like the current version of Rebellion Master Duel, which is pretty good. And I mean, I think we couldn't start in a better way, because this replay just shows what I was telling you previously, which like I said, people think that I'm memeing with this card, and I'm just gonna show you that Blazeman is a really good normal summon, because like I said, I mean, if you have played this deck, if you know the context of heroes, you know that having Polymerization in your hand just opens so many possibilities. Like, the deck is very explosive whenever they have the poly in hand. So whenever you like normal summon a card, or even special summon a card that says get a Polymerization on summon, that is really strong, and it also puts a lot of pressure onto your opponent, because they do not know that we have this, right? And we spend our normal summon on this, so they're thinking if they're resolving this, chances are that they're going to unbreak because they didn't open like Stratos nor Ferris, and chances are that he needs to resolve this effect in order to pop off, so I'm going to stop this, right? which is essentially what it does. And he doesn't even like, if, let's say if he has, let's say, Valor or Impermanence, doesn't even care about using them. He uses Ash Blossom, so you cannot dodge it like, let's say, with Impermanence or with, sorry, with Mass Chain or something else. So what Blazeman essentially did here was eating an Ash Blossom, and that's so good because now we get to use like the end shuffle back Blazeman, and when now we get Stratos to search into fairies, right? And we're gonna do the combo anyway, whether he liked it or not. And we still have the Fusion Destiny. We didn't need it. We did not need it, but we opened it anyway. So we're going to take that into consideration to further down our combo and see how much value we can get out of it. And actually, you're also gonna see some of the EN Shuffle applications here, some of the additional EN Shuffle applications, because we sent Neos for a fusion, but now we're going to retrieve it back in our deck to draw one card, and because we have Fusion Destiny in our hand, Neos is going to become a fusion material for the fusion summoning of Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, which is happening right now. And this essentially just makes our combo stronger. And now we're gonna get the Shadow Mist and summon the Dark Glow on the next turn. And this is like particularly strong for like the matchup. I know that maybe for this particular matchup, Plasma would have been a better choice, but we do not know where we're playing against until we are playing it right now, and now we know that we're playing against Yubel. But Dardo is still a really strong option because they do not get to gather like the 0 attack fiend monsters in the graveyard, so they can summon the Phantom of Yubel for free. So he has no way to turning this back, so he surrenders and we win. Let's see what we have in hand, right? And then again, just to remind you, this is a 50 card count deck list, and you saw we're not opening bad hands. And let's say because this is maybe one of the hands that you were expecting to draw, which is like, we really don't have like that. We didn't open like the Fusion Destiny, we didn't open like the Hero Lives, we are only relying on our normal summon. So what we can do, right? And even we're going to have to do some nuanced version of this combo, because we're going to get Max C at some part of the combo, like that. Right there we had full combo, because like I said, opening Stratos plus Polymerization is full combo, but we cannot go full war, because we don't want to give our opponent that kind of advantage, but we need to end on something good, on something relevant, because otherwise we're not winning that game. So what we just wanted to do here is, because we already have the mask change, we're going to let the Infernal Rage, the Infernal Devicer stay there, and we just wanted the favorite contact set up. But we're going to get stopped right there, like he drew into the freaking Ash Blossom, and we're losing an important part of our combo, and we're trying to maxi our opponent, and then we get like Called by the Grave, and the only thing that we have right now is the Dark Glow. But just shows you like how strong Dark Glow of a monster is, right? Like he's losing all those resources just because Dark Glow exists on the field, and now Sunrise is gonna trigger because they're tunneling vision the Dark Glow, they attack and they trigger Sunrise, and they lose, right? Even getting Max C, right? So yeah, what else do we have here? Another Yubel Duel. I don't know if like you guys want to see that. Oh, maybe this will be a more interesting one, because then again, like I've been playing all these games and I've been losing pretty much every single coin flip. Like for the longest time, I've been going second every single time. But like because we have Max C, we're gonna shotgun it, and our opponent has to eat that Max C, and just this is one of those replays that shows you that Max C essentially wins games by itself, right? And even at some point of the duel, our opponent is going to do something that I actually forgot to mention on the explanation to fight Handtraps, which is essentially that, is using a draw unlock card of your own. Whenever you get, like whenever your opponent gets a draw from Max C, you use the draw unlock card of your own, so they do not draw any more cards. I mean, you are not getting any more value, you are not getting any more searches, but if you already have enough of your combo available to you, you just don't want to give your opponent that much of an advantage, right? So here, so yeah, he has the traps, he's going to respond, so he has a way to like not get negated with the droplets, but essentially it's not gonna matter because we have enough. Like shutting down those effects is gonna cost him really bad. We're gonna punch him really hard. And just spoiling the end, we're gonna punch this guy really hard. Also, I think that at some point of the combo I did some misplay because I tried to absorb the link monster, but I guess it doesn't work because it's still unaffected even though the effect is technically negated. But it's not gonna matter, we are just going to make as much graveyard as we possibly can, and we're going to like fuse into a big wake up your elemental hero because we use a fusion material for 2 fusion materials for its summon. We can attack twice and we win. Yes. What else do we have? Oh, we just watched this. And I mean, we could see that, but it's a Trinity finish in this game, but it's another one of those Maxi wins by itself kind of games. So let's see. Oh, we're going first. They're gonna shut down the Maxi, and we're going to like eat it with the Ash Blossom. And yes, I feel like this is going to be a very interesting replay because this is going to be a showcase of the polymerization combo line. We're going to do full combo with the cards that we have in hand right now. We're gonna build a board somehow. We're going to do a lot of the stuff out of order that you may be accustomed to do, and just watch and learn if you want to do something like this, right? And just to remind you, for you to do this kind of combos, you need to play at the absolute least 2 polymerizations. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to do this. So yeah, like this was like kind of a freestyle kind of combo because I just had to like go with the flow and just build as I was connecting the dots, like what I already used, what I had yet to be used, and how I could like end on the best board possible, right? So somehow with Poly plus Stratos plus the Bayan and having like Liquid Soldier on top of that, you ended up on the same board that you were going to end anyways, right? But they spent like 2 hand traps, the impermanence and the max C, and you play through all of those. And then again against Juvel, the current one of the current top tier decks, and it's very annoying, but we're not giving it any chance of coming back into the goal. Okay, guys. So final thoughts before ending the video. Something that it's also worth considering for the context of the new hand trap is that sometimes the best solution to a problem is the easiest one. And what do I mean by that is that maybe you do not need to do all of this if you decide to build your deck in such a way that you can go blind second every time, because the card only works when you yourself have no cards, right? So if your opponent goes first and he draws into the hand trap, essentially is useless unless they want to pass up on an empty board. And then if the only thing that they have available to them is hand traps, I mean, you've seen the replays. You are very capable of like playing through hand traps. And if you're worried about, I don't know, certain ones, let's say like the Droll and Lockbird or like Nibiru, because those are the hardest hitting ones, maybe instead of playing like the Ash Blossom and the hand trap, you still play like the Cross of Designator, and you only play these, so you hard stop them if they were to be used against you. And also, like I said, one of the things that you may consider is maybe playing Droll and Lockbird in your main deck. So it's another way to stop the draw engine hand traps, but obviously it comes with a cost that is kind of hard to like overcome. But yeah, like just to remind you, I really mean it when I say do not be afraid of playing more than 40 cards, because this deck is more than capable of doing so. But also my recommendation for this deck is that try to not go above 50 cards. I feel like 50 is like the limit where like where you start, like where that's where you stop seeing the cards that you want to open, like the Hero Lives and the Fusion Destiny. And even if you were to like cite the cards in for a particular matchup, it's going to be really hard for you to see those cards. So yeah, and just an honorable mention is maybe I mean, this is not gonna help you in the particular case of the, let's say, of the draw engine hand traps, but this is just an honorable mention that maybe if you were to play like the Aqua Neos in your extra deck, you could also main deck the Neo Special Aqua Dolphin, and that's like a good way to get rid cards like Droll and Lockbird or like Ash Blossom and such that could potentially like hurt your game. But yeah, just like additional content. But like if you ask me how I would play the deck, this is how I would recommend. So this is just a first draft. This is a starting point for me, and I hope that you also test this deck, and I hope that you find other ways to like fight against back this kind of card, because it really hurts this deck really hard. And with that, that would be the end of the video, and I hope that you guys liked it. And please like, share, and subscribe. But if you're not doing that, at the absolute least, just please leave me a comment about how you guys liked the video. And this is Lester signing out, and I hope you guys have a nice day.